Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your girl, Cherrell. I'm the host of Let's Talk the Show, and this ain't a podcast. First and foremost, I would love to apologize to you guys for being late. I had some technical difficulties there, but I am here, and we have an amazing show in store for you guys. Make sure you guys click that link in our bio and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can watch all the behind the scenes and the latest episodes and even highlights to the show that do not make Instagram. As you guys know, we have an amazing show. I couldn't even figure out the next word. We have an amazing show in store for you tonight. We are talking about R. Kelly, the man versus the music, you guys. I cannot wait to discuss this. You guys know me. Okay, I got points together. We're going to talk about this today, okay? But before we go any further, you guys know the routine. You got to drop something that you're grateful for. So I see you guys are joining in. Make sure you drop something in the comment section that you are grateful for. Give me 1 second. And go ahead and drop something that you are grateful for in the comment section. I am grateful for, I am grateful for, what am I grateful for? Self-awareness, right? Oh, grateful, thank you. Okay, thank you guys. I hate to be this person, right? But I am grateful for self-awareness. Yeah, I'm just grateful for self-awareness. That's it. I don't really want to go into details today. But I know I even got a different look, you guys. I ain't even coming with the braids. I'm coming with the slick back, okay? And so you guys know you always see me with braids, but like I have been wearing my natural hair just because I missed it so much, and it's like long enough now to put into like a nice little ponytail. So like, yeah, you're getting slick back real. Give me like another 2 weeks. I'll be tired of planning my hair, and then you'll get like some braids again. All right. Somebody says I'm grateful for therapy. Super grateful. I recommend anybody that has breath in their body to go to therapy. Okay. I am grateful to have good health. Okay, listen, what it say? If you don't make time for your health, you will make time for your illness. Go take your ass to the doctor. Okay. That is super important. I'm grateful for that. You can't go wrong. Okay. You can't buy no good health. Some shit hit the fan, baby, you can't buy no good health. And definitely therapy. You can buy some therapy, though. You need to take your ass to therapy, okay? Take it. Stop using your friends. Stop using your mama. Stop using your baby daddy and your baby mama. Stop using your best friends. Nobody want to hear that shit. Take it to a therapist, okay? Take it to a therapist. You can find black therapists. You can find a therapist that you feel like really aligns with you. If you ever need help finding a therapist, I used to work for health insurance, and if you have government funded insurance, I can definitely help you find a therapist, or we can just look them up together, right? But you got to help me help you, so always get some therapy. We get right into it. We are talking about R. Kelly tonight, the man versus the music. Let me see if I can pull it up. The man versus the music, you guys. R. Kelly, the man versus the music. Before we jump into the story, make sure you guys go ahead and click that little arrow in your lower right hand corner for me, and share this conversation with 3 friends that you think will love it. The best way to spread the news about great things and things that you love and great shows is word of mouth. So hit that and send to 3 friends you think will love this conversation. And don't forget, you guys are always my special co-hosts. When I actually don't physically have a guest, you guys are always my co-hosts. And so I definitely want to see some people's opinions about him. I'm going to be asking you guys some questions. We're going to talk about this man because it's some shit we got to talk about. You know, I ain't letting people skate on thin ice. I don't be on here arguing and cutting into people like I do on Facebook. But today, if you Negroes get on here acting stupid, we going to have a problem. All right, so let me do something. I'm going to go ahead and share with 3 friends I think will like this conversation. Okay? I'm sharing it with 3 friends I think will like this conversation. So here we go. So, tonight we're talking about R. Kelly, the man versus the music. Before I get into it, let's talk about what R. Kelly has done. So, first off, everybody knows this man. Everybody, he's, internationally known. R. Kelly has actually written and co-written 50 plus songs for people, for himself, including some of your favorite artists like Maxwell, Destiny Child. He's done Aaliyah, obviously. Ty Dolla $ign. He's done numerous artists. All of your favorite artists. R. Kelly has probably written for Michael Jackson. You name it, he's probably done it. Produced, written, you name it. But most recently, R. Kelly has been found guilty of charges with racketeering and sex trafficking. And I believe they said he violated the Mann Act, which prohibits taking a minor across lines for sexual acts. I think I might be saying that wrong, but he violated the Mann Act. And so we got a lot, y'all. He was found guilty on all charges. I believe the sentence is not until October, and that's when we're going to find out how many years he's facing. But let's jump right into it. A lot of people are talking about you have to separate the man from the music, all right? Or I'm sorry, the man from the art. Let's just be clear. Art is an extension of an artist. And just to verify, art is the expression, this is paraphrasing it too, art is the expression of imagination or creative skills of one. So when you want to talk about trying to separate a man from the music, it's really hard to separate somebody from something that would not exist if they didn't exist. You can't say he's this creative genius and he's this great writer, he's this creative genius, when a lot of those things are centered behind sexual acts with minors. Most notably, age ain't nothing but a number. He likes kids. You can't tell me that you can listen to that song and not think like, how old was the kid that he was talking about? You know, you can't tell me that age ain't nothing but a number. I don't know. You know what? Let me ask you guys this, because I can feel my blood rising. Tell me something. Are you guys still going to listen to R. Kelly music? Like, let me post that here. Are you still listening to R. Kelly's music regardless of the verdict? Let's see here. Let's see what we're doing here. Are you still listening to R. Kelly's music? Let's see. Okay. So tell me, I got somebody saying no. I just don't see how you can listen to music made by a man about children. He's performing sexual acts on these children. And I think that black people have to really get over holding our heroes accountable. Like, we can't take away how creative he is. This man is a phenomenal writer. He's created amazing works of art. We cannot deny that. But what we also can't deny is his sickness, right? This man is mentally disturbed. He has also charges with kidnapping. He's taking minors across state lines. We've seen the incident with him peeing on a young girl. You know, people saying that he's holding people hostage. And I don't actually want to, I want to make sure that I give every victim, that respect. But he also has allegations against young boys as well. It's not fair to the victims to say, you don't matter because he's wrote this song that I love. I don't think that's fair. I think that's inhumane. And I think that as black people, if we do not start holding our heroes accountable, it's going to be less likely that we're going to be holding these pedophile as uncles that some of you guys may know, these pedophile as brothers, these pedophile as aunties and mamas that some of y'all got. We need to start holding people accountable. And R. Kelly needs to be the start of that. Let's not lie. He's a sick man. What he did was sick. It's unacceptable. And the black community needs to shun his ass. You should not be supporting this man. Listening to his music, I think it's one thing that if it comes on that you hear, I think that's one thing. But to actively seek out his music and play it, that means you're supporting him. And to me, that means you're okay with molestation, with rape, with sex trafficking. Because at this point, he can still make money off what you're doing. So you cannot separate the man from the art. You cannot say that listening to his music doesn't mean you support him. It's probably made about a kid. You banging age ain't nothing but a number, or it seems like you ready, and he talking about a motherfucking 14-year-old. Talking about some she seem like she ready. And it's like, how you okay with that? Where do people draw the line about supporting pedophiles regardless of who they are? I don't give a fuck how many songs this nigga wrote. He's sick. And he touched kids. Half of the people that be advocating and on his side have children. And I ain't gonna cap. I really gotta think, did somebody touch you? And do you think that shit okay? Because I can't understand as a woman saying he innocent, he not guilty when these young girls are on the stage, these young boys are on the stage. I'm not on stage. They're in court and they're saying he did these things to him. I feel like one nigga might lie. One nigga might lie and say you did some shit out of some bitter shit. But 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 niggas lying, niggas writing whole books, everybody's story sound the same. You can't tell me these niggas sat in the fucking conference room and was like, yeah, we gonna say this. Not saying that does not happen to people, but I highly doubt allegations spanning well over, I believe, 20 years are all just some bullshit. Like, you can't convince me that everybody lying on you. Like, you know how your mama said the teacher, you know, you tell your mama the teacher don't like you, but don't none of the teachers like you. Granted, your kid might be a badass kid. He might be. But the fact that nobody like this nigga, nah. The chances of that actually being true are very fucking slim. So the chances that women are supporting him after numerous women have come forward makes me think you've been touched and you think it's okay. And I can't help but think that if you support R. Kelly, you probably support Boosie. Because that's the same nigga that paid a grown-ass woman to molest his kids. You know, I hate getting on here saying shit like this, but sometimes you niggas just be disgusting me. Because what the fuck is wrong with y'all? What the fuck do y'all be thinking saying, free my nigga R. Kelly, free this nigga Bill Cosby? Like, these niggas be on record saying that they okay with the shit. Like, or that they did the shit. And then y'all get y'all extra dumbasses on this bitch like, yeah, my nigga, free Kelly, I'm Bill Cosby and bitches. And it's like, who raised you? And then I gotta remember that some of y'all weren't even raised by y'all mama. So y'all got issues with women anyway. Your mama had to work so many hours because your daddy wasn't shit. So she dropped you off to your grandma. You stressed Big Mama the fuck out. She got high blood pressure, cholesterol, sugar, everything. And you know, somehow that interfere with their relationship, your ability to form a healthy relationship with your mother. So now you go out here, you date these women, and now you got issues with women and shit. So it only makes sense that y'all niggas be out here supporting shit. And you women too. Your mama didn't like y'all. It's a complex between black women and their daughters, and now you got issues with your mama. Your daddy probably wasn't shit either. Your mama dropped you off to Big Mama. You stressed Big Mama the fuck out. You probably found, you feel me, a safe place or haven or whatever, and some older ass nigga, and now you out here supporting this nigga too because that nigga look like the old ass nigga you was today. That's just a lot of shit. And some of you motherfuckers didn't even go through that. Some of y'all have perfectly healthy homes. Not perfectly healthy, but healthy, relatively healthy and happy homes compared to a lot of other people. And y'all still on some dumb shit just because y'all want to follow the hype or y'all want to get clout. And I really am here to tell you that the shit you put out never goes away. And that if you have children and you're supporting these type of people, you probably should have no fucking kids. Because that means that what are you going to do when somebody touches your son? I just want you to know, like, I'm never going to allow some shit to happen to my son. Like, I've already made a pact to God that if some shit happens to my kid, I'm already going to jail. Like, I've already said that. I've already come to terms with that. So I really hope that I really never have to kill somebody by my kid because that shit is unforgivable to me. I could never be that parent. I don't know if I have enough screws in my head to be like, yeah, you touch my kid, I'm gonna let the justice system do it. Nigga, please, I am the justice system, and I'm just gonna handle it because it just doesn't sit well with me. But I didn't mean to go on a rant. I'm just like annoyed and disgusted by some of you Negroes. Like, do you guys know any people that have been defending? I've seen some pedophiles, and that's a reach. I don't want to call anybody pedophile, but I've seen some R. Kelly supporters on my timeline. I've seen the protests outside the jail, I believe, of women supporting him and men. And you know what? I want to make this this not a safe space bullshit. But if you support R. Kelly, could you drop in my comment section that you support him? I really want to try to understand. I feel like you should always hear an opposing side. So I would really like to hear if you support R. Kelly, can you drop this in my comment section if you support him? Because I can't fathom why somebody would. That shit don't make no sense. I know everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but some of y'all opinions be dead ass wrong. Like, some of my shit be dead ass wrong too, but it's not about me. It's about y'all stupid ass opinions right now. So if you guys support R. Kelly and you are okay saying so, could you please drop that in my comment section? I would really love to bring you on and talk about that. I'm going to give you some time to think about it. While they're possibly typing in the comment section, make sure you guys click that arrow in your lower right corner and send this conversation to three friends that you think will love this conversation. And if you guys want to come on and share your opinion, make sure you drop that in here, because I really want to talk to you guys. I want to know what you're thinking. I'm super excited about this conversation. I'm super passionate about it, as you guys can see. And we got a lot more ground to cover. I ain't really cracked it yet. But Jetty Ruger says, separating the music from the artist is very important. I never really listened to him anyways, but I think dude is totally done now. His legacy can't be restored. I agree with the fact that his legacy is probably destroyed. It can't be restored. It's definitely destroyed. But I have a question to you, Jetty Ruger. How do you separate the artist from the art? How is that possible when art is an extension of the artist? How do you separate somebody who poured their imagination into their art? How can you separate pedophile like thoughts that have been, you know, displayed in how do you separate pedophile thoughts from pedophile infused songs? Like, I don't get that. Like, the song, we know he likes kids. He made a song with AJ Ain't Nothing But a Number with a kid. How can you separate that? You know, tell me what you think about that. It's going to be hard to completely cut out R. Kelly music because he has his hand in everything. I agree. And I think that there's a very big distinction. I think that the biggest thing is, I don't think that R. Kelly, and maybe we would have to listen to every song, but I think that as long as, I feel like I'm being hypocritical. I feel like as long as maybe the song isn't his song, because I wouldn't trust his songs. No song that he has ever written that he's on, I would think is about an adult. I just can't trust that you wrote your own song for your own self, your own pleasure. That's about an adult. But if he's on a hook to somebody's song or something like that, and depending on what it says, I would cut it out. Like, if there's I really wish I could remember the song I was listening to. I think that the difference is, if you're actively streaming out R. Kelly songs, not songs that he's featured on, not songs that he's co-written or wrote, I would be very hesitant. And I'm not even saying, I know it's a long shot, and I know it's a reach, and I know people don't even do that much research, but I would be looking at the songs that he wrote. Who did he write? What songs did he write? Because if he wrote this song, regardless of who the fuck is singing it, he wrote it, and the place that he wrote it from is important. And I think that people it's kind of like, you can't, I know you guys are saying you can't separate the artist from the song, but it's like you also have to be very mindful of the things that you're ingesting. You have to be mindful of the things that you're feeding your mind and your body. You know, if I'm listening to a song, and like, just like a lot of times about videos, people watch videos and they're like, oh my God, I'm not watching that video, it's demonic. But what's the difference from watching a demonic video when you're listening to a song that's written about kids, regardless of who's singing it? I mean, essentially, you're just singing a song. You don't know where, you're just singing it. But when you know the intentions behind it, can you truly be like, oh, I really enjoy this song? Because I would feel like, nah, I can't fuck with that song because that shit about a kid. And I feel like we got to do a better drawing the line. If you really care and you don't support children, do your research. I don't expect people to go down and be like, I got 100 songs I ain't listening to. But I do feel like that this should be something that you are intentionally aware of. You listen to a song, you're like, damn, I think R. Kelly wrote it. It don't hurt nothing but 2 seconds of Google who wrote it. And it's like, I'm good, bro. Dog wrote that shit. It's definitely about a kid. I'm not singing loving you, fucking you, and he talking about a fucking 14-year-old. I'm straight. I'll pass. I don't give a fuck how good it is. It say, woo Lord, did I just hear a toy box dump out? I got PTSD from that. Whoa. Mama. Whoa, you got PTSD from a toy box? Whoa. What? Oh, that just, what? I'm gonna skip that one. Inbox me about what you mean about that. But yeah, I think that we have to draw the line somewhere. I think that holding R. Kelly accountable is more than just taking down somebody that's wrong, that's a musical genius. It's about sending a clear message, because we got to understand we're adults watching this, but there are also children that have been molested that are watching this, and they're watching how we react to R. Kelly. It's not just about letting him know what he's done is wrong. It's not about justice for his victims. It's about justice for other victims that are watching this trial as well. There are tons of other children that have been molested and adults that are watching this that need to see the world say this is dead ass wrong. And I'm going to go a step farther, because another note is that not only is R. Kelly wrong, anyone that knew what was happening was dead ass wrong. Even if you didn't touch these girls, even if you didn't know to the extent of what was happening, if you were aware that something wrong was happening and you stood by and said nothing, you are dead ass wrong, and you need to be held accountable. And we're going to talk more about maybe the process that should go through, and as well as the parents. No, I'm just saying, I hate hearing the toy box stuff out, because I know it's going to be a lot to clean up. My kids usually got little Legos at the bottom. Oh, no, oh, yeah, you know, yeah, my son, I don't do Legos, because them bitches hurt, so I don't fuck around with Legos. Like, he won't get them until he can clean up at like 10. Legos are like no-go. We got big blocks, but it's definitely going to be a lot of shit to clean up. Nonetheless, you're absolutely right. But you know, when you have kids or something and you work from home, after so much shit, you just tune it out. Like, I heard it, but it didn't register. So when I get out of when the show's over, I'm going to go in there like, fuck, here we go. But you know, I get what you're saying though. I do. Somebody said guilty by association. Yeah, you're definitely guilty by association. Definitely. I think that, because I read the book that one of the young girls, I believe, released. I think it was like Surviving R. Kelly or something like that. I read the book, and there were security guards. There were maybe like maids or something. I think I saw like maybe butlers, those people in the house or whatever, or however that was working. There were other people that knew what was going on that did not say anything. And to me, those people need to be prosecuted. I think that the same way that you see some shit happen and you walk the opposite way and don't say nothing, like you saw some shit happen and you not say nothing, you're guilty. You are fucking guilty. It's one thing to say, I ain't gonna interfere because shit can always go left. But it's another thing to actively watch something happen. Yes. She opened the toothbrush. Okay. Go brush your teeth. Yep, go ahead. All right. It's another thing to actively watch something happen and decide to not say anything. I think that type of mentality is detrimental to our community. To watch something happen to children and not say anything, there's something wrong with you. I can never watch something happen to a kid and not say something. Like, it makes me cringe when I watch people whoop their kids. I could never imagine someone doing what I know to be long-term damage or harm to a kid and be like, that ain't got shit to do with me. You know, I could never do that. And someone that could not so much as blink an eye, that could go to sleep and not think twice, that could just go years and not say anything, your ass is guilty. You are guilty of something. I don't know the laws, but baby, you guilty of something. And we need to hold these people accountable. It cannot, and this is, I don't know why this is coming up, but I remember there's I believe a quote from Emmett Till moms that says, no, maybe it's not. But you know what? Maybe it's not Emmett Till. I think I'm remembering it wrong. It could be Martin Luther King. That says an injustice to one of us is an injustice to all of us. I'm not sure who says that. I think it's Emmett Till or Martin Luther King Jr. Either way it go, that shit is an injustice to us, because that little girl or that little boy could have been my little boy or my niece. And it's not enough to say that shit ain't got nothing to do with me, or he ain't do it to my kid. He did it to a kid. And every kid should fucking matter. Every little black girl and little black boy should matter like they yours. It's not enough to sit there and say it's not my kid, it doesn't matter. And anybody that sat by in I believe the last 20 years that has allowed this to take place and say nothing, you are guilty. What you are guilty of, the law will have to determine, but you're guilty of something. Let's see. I wish he would have been prosecuted when he married Aaliyah. So many young girls could have been saved. So many. And that's what I'm saying. People knew what was going on. And it's like a lot of people are saying, well, why we ain't do nothing? It's like, you guys got to remember how old we were. We were children when this was taking place. There were adults then that knew what was happening and said absolutely nothing. So it's not enough to say, why is I understand that we didn't, we really weren't responsible then because we were kids. But as an adults now, we can say something. We can hold R. Kelly accountable. He is being held accountable in the law. He needs to be held, I don't even know how to say it. He needs to be like publicly held accountable. He needs to be socially, to me, held accountable. And that's where the conversations on social media go. That's when there becomes a boycott of his music. Regardless, that's when we see more celebrities actively speaking out about this. This has to be spoken about. There needs to be a complete cancellation of him. This cannot be okay, ever. I want to make sure I'm not missing things. I agree, definitely. He's definitely guilty. This is such a thing. There is a such thing as man's law and God's law, period. Absolutely. There's absolutely. I love the fact that our generation speaks out about so many things and refuses just to mind our business. Yeah. I think we're 50-50. We like that. That shit ain't got to do. But I do agree. Like, it's not enough for him to be just legally held responsible. And it's not enough just for R. Kelly to be held responsible. I'm keeping it a buck. I know my parents, a lot of parents, may not have known exactly what their children were doing, but they know they were doing something. You hear me? And so the parents of these children that knew something was happening but couldn't quite pinpoint it are also responsible. It does not matter if you cannot pinpoint it exactly. You knew something was wrong and you didn't say anything. And as a parent, I'm going to go to the ends of the earth to make sure that my child is heard, that they get the justice that they deserve. People die after 30 years of looking for missing kids. I can't believe that a parent would at some point stop trying to speak up. You know what I'm saying? I think that any parent that took money from R. Kelly and then decided to hush the situation is responsible as well. These are minors. You do not get to take money and say, okay, it's all good. Not only did you not physically experience any of that trauma, you don't get to speak for your child. Children oftentimes go unheard about so many of their feelings. Like, you know, that's why it's so amazing when we finally let kids talk. They say some of the craziest shit. It's like, what the fuck? A lot of times it's like, how did you learn that? Or where do you learn that from? And it's like, I can't believe that it's possible these parents took money and just decided to ice the situation. Absolutely not. I think that we need to take a step further. We need to start prosecuting security guards. Well, we need to start looking at anybody that was involved or around R. Kelly at the time of these allegations, and we need to bring charges against them. That includes parents. Absolutely includes. That includes taking it higher up and finding out what record labels or execs were aware of this situation. That includes. I know I did see somewhere that I may have read it wrong, but I believe the pastor that married R. Kelly and Aaliyah came forward and said that he knew it was a fraud. I don't know if there are any charges against him. I don't give a damn how old. They got Bill Cosby as. Everybody is. It needs to be a trial for everybody. Everybody else needs to be on the chopping block. Everybody. And hear me. Let me see what you guys said. I also believe Aaliyah's family was in on it. You know, I can't believe that they would allow their child to be unsupervised with this man. I just don't get it. And after a conversation, if you guys do remember, I interviewed Piper Carter. I did an interview with her a while back about women's, I think it's called Women's Found Hip Hop is a book that she wrote. I interviewed her a couple months ago. And she even talked about execs and people trying to get sexual favors out of her in exchange for work or in exchange for her staying or working on a project. As an adult woman, she said that she was an adult when these things happened to her. She even said how they would try to groom children, that they would not want parents in the rooms when they have these conversations because they're trying to groom children. She said this. She's worked with these people. Okay, this woman has done photography. She's done photography for Vogue. She's done a lot of things. And Piper Carter said these things on my show. You can look at the interview. It's a long interview, obviously like an hour. You can look at the interview where she actually says out her own mouth that the music industry grooms children. Why would they try to groom children? What are you trying to do to kids? And to think as an adult that you would allow your child to be unsupervised with a man and not pick up on any difference in her body language, her behavior, you know, or anything like that, I would really question what type of parent you are. And I do. I think to a degree her parents were on it. I don't know the wealth of her parents, but I know a lot of times when we see children in these situations, they usually come from poor families. They're looking for a way out. But I'm just going to let you know, at no point should you ever be sacrificing your kid for the betterment or the advancement of the family. That should never be the case. They need to be prosecuted. If there's any type of way that her family may have been in on it, they need to be prosecuted. Everybody. I don't give a damn if it's a grandma and she on her deathbed from COVID. Get her ass up, park her ass in that wheelchair, and put her on trial. Everybody needs to be held responsible for what happened to these children. It's not enough that R. Kelly did it, because R. Kelly didn't do it alone. Who was picking these kids up? Who was booking the flights? Who was the assistants, the security guards? Everybody is responsible for the failure and for the trauma. Everybody's responsible for the trauma of these children, not just R. Kelly. And we need to take it a step farther and sock it to everybody else. I have a question. Do you guys think do you think that parents should be prosecuted? Like, they should be facing jail time? And not just the parents, it may be aunts, uncles. Do you guys feel like other people outside of R. Kelly need to be brought to trial when it comes to the sexual allegations against him? Should everybody be on trial, or who should not be, facing jail time? I don't know. I don't know why they would allow her to stay around him after her marriage. I don't know. I don't know why you would let a damn near 30-year-old man marry a 15-year-old. Like, I don't know. I have no idea. And some shit, it just be so far out, you can't even fucking understand it. And that's why I really just don't have a thought, because I just don't get it. How could you do that? Say he married her so he could give consent to an abortion. It's just like, it just makes you wonder. It really makes you wonder. She was so young, so talented. It makes you wonder all the things that were going through her mind. I hate to be a conspiracy theorist, but it's almost like, how did she die? I mean, I know it was a plane crash, but like, all the things that happened, was she fed up or something? Is it possible she was going to speak out about something? And now they got this drunk pilot driving her flying, that wasn't supposed to be flying. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, and I definitely don't want to play those ideas. But that just what popped in my head. Like, well, all of a sudden she died so tragically. And was she ready to speak out? Was she tired of, was she ready to come forward? Or, whatever. Hey, anybody who watched or helped in the situation should be in prison. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't give a care about age. Anybody who knew about it and didn't beat ass, didn't take names, is at fault. Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody needs to be held responsible. Parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, security guards, anybody that's booking flights, assistants, any artist. This is another thing, because I don't know if you guys have you guys seen any artists like publicly speaking out and saying like, this is wrong, XYZ? I have not seen anybody. For real. They're really quiet, and I think I'm going to say for the fact that a lot of people he's probably helped. Maybe he's helped their careers. He's given them a hit. And it makes me wonder when people don't speak out. It really makes me wonder, what do you value more? What do you guys say? I thought the same thing. It has been said, and it has been said she was about to speak on the situation. Wow, I never saw that theory. A lot of theories are circulating when people die or things like that. But that's crazy. I never saw anyone say that her death could be related because she was going to speak out about R. Kelly. I have never heard that. Wow. I think that it's not fair that this was such a big part of her life. There's no doubt in my mind that she experienced some trauma from this. And it's really frustrating and it's upsetting that she does not get to speak on this. Because I always feel like it's not fair when somebody has experienced trauma and everybody gets to make up their own, version of the story or what they thoughts were. It's just like, kind of makes me want to just say, stop speaking about her and stop bringing her into this, because she can't be here to defend herself. And I really don't trust the opinions and thoughts of people that were around her that claim they didn't know what the fuck was going on. To me, you're just as guilty as the nigga that married her and was having sex with her. So your ass is out. You don't really have a say. So I really just like kind of want to stop having her. I just kind of want to stop bringing her up. Here's another argument. And this, I think we're going to get you guys' opinions about this. It says, it's not fair at all. I really would have loved to see her on Surviving R. Kelly. I would have loved to see her talk about it now. And a part of me does not think that she would even be, you know, super open about it. Part of me doesn't think that she would be super open about it. Part of me feels like if she kept going at the rate that she was going, that the industry probably would have hushed her up. They would have tried to keep it still under wraps. I would have loved for Aaliyah to still be here and to be transparent about the situation and really put it out there, because she's obviously the nail in the coffin. If she would be able to come forward and say XYZ took place and I know he did this, then not saying those other cases wouldn't matter, but hers would be like, this is real, and she would really be able to hold her family accountable. She'd be able to hold any people in other cases accountable to say that they assisted in the sex trafficking of these minors. I really wish she was here, and I do want to, like, you know, I wish we could stop bringing her up in it, because she's not here. But this is another thing. This is some people saying, what do you guys think? People are saying that he should not get more time than a white person that has committed the same crime. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that he should get more time? He shouldn't get more time as a white person that's committed the same crime? Do you think that conversation is even relevant right now? What do you guys think about that? I'm going to be honest. I think that when it comes to nailing black heroes or, you know, well-loved black creatives to the board, nailing their ass to the board, black people want to bring up race. And I'm not saying that it's not a valid argument. I'm just saying, why does it fucking matter? Why do we have to say, well, white people committed the same crime, he should get less time? That, to me, is fucking relevant. The fact of the matter is that he's touched dozens of young boys and young girls, and he's ruined so many lives. Why do I give a fuck about what a white man did? Not saying that white kids do not matter, but why the fuck do I give a fuck about what he did to some white kids? Like, they get their justice. They get the book smacked at them. They get theirs. He touched black kids. He tried to convince us he was this man. He was not saying that he's not a creative genius, but he just tried to convince us this one way, and that we were all wrong and we're hearing it wrong. And here he is touching our little brothers, our little sisters, our nieces and our nephews, our siblings. Nail his ass to the wall, okay? I don't give a fuck about what John did to them kids, what Joe, Billy Rowe, whoever did to them kids. I give a fuck about what R. Kelly did to our children, and that should be the end of the discussion. He shouldn't get more time. Whatever the book is that he should get for what he did to those children and the lives that he's destroyed, smack it to his ass. Because the end of the day, while I do understand that he's abused and hurt people, to an extent, you also knew what the fuck you was doing was wrong. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like you got to understand that I still believe that maybe he does not have a fully developed mindset. I do. But the question of the matter is, did you know that what you were doing was wrong? If you did, then that needs to be taken into accountability, and we need to nail his ass to the wall. That's that. I don't want to hear about what no white man did. I don't care. R. Kelly touched them kids. He did that to those kids. He manipulated the situation. He ruined lives. He's created some generational trauma. You know what I'm saying? Nail that nigga ass to the wall. That's it. It's not up for debate. Care what Joe did, Billy Rowe did. I don't give a fuck. R. Kelly touched those kids. R. Kelly's ass needs to be nailed to the wall for it. I think that we always want to... I feel like, to a degree, bringing up what a white man did to kids compared to what a black hero has done to kids is almost... It seems like you kind of defended them to me. And that could be my emotions clouding, the reality. But it's like, why? Why does that matter? Because if the justice system was truly trying to assassinate this man's character, his ass would have been nailed a fucking while ago. He would have been. If it was really like, this man is a genius, we got to get him out. Don't y'all think they would have nailed his ass a while ago? It's been, 20 years? And he just got fucking caught? Mama. How many kids has he touched? Right? Mama? Yes. Pee-pee. Okay, go pee-pee. Go tell X. No, it's right there, Reem. Go potty. You got to pull your pants down. Go pull your pants down and go potty. Go pull your pants down. Go potty. Go ahead, babe. Help him, God. Help him. Go ahead, Papa. Pull him down, Papa. It's okay to sit down and Papa. Can you let me know if he pees? Okay, just give him a second. This is like super important. If my son says he has to pee with a pull-up on, that's major. But I do want to make sure you. I want those people that didn't get him help held accountable as well. Like they said on Boondocks, you love R. Kelly, get R. Kelly some damn help. You ain't never. You know what's funny? I just had this conversation with my sister. I said, is the people that knew he was sick and needed some help, but even if they didn't know what he was doing, they kind of knew he was doing something wrong. Are they responsible as well? And we both agreed. We both agreed, and I said they need to be held responsible as well. People that sat around and knew this man was sick and did not get this man help are equally as let me make sure you are not equally as responsible. You are definitely responsible for the welfare of those children. Like this is a great case of it's not my fault, but it's definitely my responsibility. It is not your fault that that man's sick. It is not your fault that these parents were negligent in caring for their kids, that they allowed him around some grown-ass man for God knows how long unsupervised. It is not your fault that either of those things took place. But it is your responsibility as an adult to say this is not right, this is wrong, and I'm going to say something. But this is how you know that people care more about money. Because it wouldn't have been enough money in the world. I would have been like, ain't no motherfucking way. Ain't no motherfucking way. And it's crazy that these people probably had kids. And they probably was like, ain't no way in the hell I'll let my kids around this nigga. And they got this, they keeping this secret. Like, I wouldn't let my kid around, but you got somebody else's kid around him. Like, that can't be your kid. It's another R. Kelly out here. Do y'all understand that? Like, that's the sick part. They probably was saying, I would never let my kid around R. Kelly. But it's an R. Kelly in their family. It's an R. Kelly at their kid's school. It's an R. Kelly in their neighborhood. But they held their mouth, and it's insanity. So I absolutely agree. Anyone that knew this man was sick and did not help him get him some help or say anything are responsible as well. Because you wouldn't let your kid around him. Why would you watch somebody else's kid? It's sickening. It is like, that's that individualistic to me type mentality. We are a community. We need to hold each other accountable and strengthen. We're better in numbers. Ain't no way in the hell this shit should have lasted this long. Ain't no motherfucking way. So true. Even with Sparkle Niece, you knew what happened with Aaliyah. And I saw something about that, and I think I read too fast. I don't know much about that, so I really don't want to speak about that. So I'm assuming that he did something with Sparkle Niece. And she knew what happened with Aaliyah. Or she didn't allow her niece around him because she knew what happened with Aaliyah. She dead ass wrong. You dead ass wrong. Oh, Sparkle's niece is the girl in the video with the P. Dead ass wrong. Dead ass wrong. Ain't no motherfucking way. Ain't no fucking way. And this is why, and this really comes back to us having productive conversations with our children. This is why yelling and cussing and fussing about sex does not stop your child from having sex or being curious. This is why it's important to have an open dialogue, to listen and inform and keep a calm tone when talking to our children about sex. It's because when you start yelling and cussing and fussing, you just shut down. And I don't understand why people think whooping their kids' ass about sex or sex-related topics or whatever is going to stop them from having sex. When you are told you can't do something, you just go do it more. And it's just like, God, Lord, we have to date better so we can parent better, so we can community better. Because, Lord, this ain't it. We should not have any more R. Kellys after this situation. She brought her around him a lot. Maybe she was sick too. You bring her around him, knowing what he's done, makes me think something was done with you. Makes me think you're sick as fucking your own head. Like, And if my mother, that's her niece, where's her mama at? And if I knew you knew and were purposely bringing my child around somebody that could harm them, I'm going to whoop your ass. And at the same time, I still need to also be held accountable because why I don't know where my kid at. As a parent, you should always know where your child is at. You should know where your child is at. There's never a point, and I'm sure my son gonna get rebellious at some point, and he might be off somewhere. I may think he's somewhere because that's what kids do. Regardless of how good you are a parent, children have their own agenda, and that's very true. But that should be like 5% of the time. 95% of the time, you should know where the fuck your kid is at. You know what I'm saying? It's not acceptable to me. Spark was on documentary. Did I watch that? I don't even know if... Did I watch the documentary? See, you know what? I'm going to be honest. Some things about black trauma put me in bad headspaces, so I don't watch them. Things like about the Central Park 5. I think there was a movie about Emmett Till I think they were talking about. Some things put me in a real... Like, I don't watch those videos. I don't watch a lot of videos when the cops kill us. I don't watch a lot of things because they put me in a bad mental space. I know I read the book. I don't think I watched that documentary because it probably would have just put me in a bad headspace. I'm really particular. I try to read as much as I can and stay informed and have dialogue with other people to get information. But a lot of things I do not watch because it's not okay for me. I don't watch a lot of things because they just put me in a bad mental space. I remember with, what is his name? Khalif Browder. I remember when he died. It was I think he died years ago. He did die years ago. But I knew about his story well before it was like a big thing. I knew about it. And it always haunted me. Like knowing about happened to him. And I think being held at Rikers without a trial. That always haunted me. I think Jay-Z was actually in the works of making something about him. Not going to watch it. I had watched something about him a while back. I'm not going to watch it. It just puts me in a bad headspace. I haven't seen those movies either. I'm honestly scared. Y'all don't need those type of things in my head. I will listen. I will read articles. I will have dialogue. Maybe I'll read a book, maybe. But a lot of things I stay clear from watching just because it's too much about me. It's not too much about me. It just puts me in a bad headspace, and I need to preserve that energy. And then it really just kind of makes you start looking at people differently. But overall and out, just to recap this, you cannot separate the man from the music. We need to hold black heroes accountable, not only because what they did is wrong, but there are other victims that are watching them. We need to be, as a community, we need to draw a sign in the sand. We as a community, we need to draw a line in the sand about what is okay and what is not. There should never be your opinion, that's your opinion. Right is right and wrong is wrong. What R. Kelly did is dead-ass wrong. Anybody who was aware and helped him in any way is dead-ass wrong, and they also need to be going to prison. That's the simple fact of the matter. We need to hold him accountable because what he did is wrong, but there are victims watching him. We need to stand collective, and it's like our racists be falling apart because we don't stand for shit. Like, this nigga dead ass wrong. There should never be people out there saying maybe nothing he wrong. We should not be listening to his music. We should be getting that shit off the air because who knows what kid he was talking about. You know what I'm saying? We need to have artists speaking out about this type of behavior. And we need to show as a collective that we care about black children and that they should be protected at all costs. Okay? All costs. There should not be a ticket on our kids' head. How much is your child worth? I mean, about 50 bands, get me up out the hood. You can fuck my 12-year-old. Like, what type of fuck is wrong with y'all niggas? Like, that shit is not acceptable. So, we need to collectively show that our children matter. I mean, we chant black boy joy and black kids matter, but this R. Kelly trial is really showing that we don't value our children and that there's a ticket. You can pay for them. And I just think that's unacceptable behavior. We've gotten so far in a world and made so many advancements. We need to make a clear line in the sand. This is not acceptable. We do not fuck with R. Kelly. What he did was wrong. Anyone that participated in those activities or we're aware of them needs to be prosecuted as well. You can't, any type of streaming of his music is supporting of him, and you cannot be fucked with. And we need to start looking at those people as such. We need to start having better conversations about rape and molestation in the black community. There needs to be open ears and a little bit more mouths closed. We need to be listening to our children. We need to be informing our children, boys and girls, about what is rape. We should not be teaching boys, be a player, fuck as many women as you want, and then try to teach our girls to keep your legs closed, your coochie is valuable. But we not raising men and women that are going to be compatible. I'm raising a man that believes he can fuck whoever, and I'm raising a daughter that believes she should be special. How the fuck is that going to work? They're never going to work out. We do not need to be trying to re-raise grown-ass men. We need to focus on raising better young boys. We need to be addressing the R. Kellys in our communities, our schools, and our neighborhoods, and our families. We need to be addressing them appropriately. And they need to be held accountable. Fuck all that he your cousin shit. I don't give a fuck if he your cousin, your brother, your auntie, your uncle. Say something about that motherfucker. Shout it from the rooftop and don't let up. Period. Tell whoever gonna listen, and we need to take it to the police. These people need to be held accountable across the board, not just legally, socially. Okay, we need young men to stop believing that these people that are raping kids and touching kids are so far removed from society. They're your homeboys. They are your brothers. They are your daddies. They are your aunties. Okay, that's just what it is. Let me see. You're so absolutely right. We also need to discuss with our girls what being groomed is. Absolutely. And we need to discuss with our boys what being groomed is. No grown man should be looking at a child. It's not acceptable. No grown-ass man in his right-ass mind is looking at a kid. Period. Okay? Ain't no man grown enough to look at no kid, to fuck with no kid. That's just it. You so mature, you more mature than them. Yeah, I ain't. Nah, you ain't. He just too goofy for them hoes and they peep game. And they know something off with his ass. And we need to teach our boys. These women that, oh, you so cute, you could be my boyfriend, you sexy. Watch out for her. That is not a passage of rights. That is molestation, that is rape. You are a child and your mind is processing at a child's rate. A child's rate. She don't need to be touching you. That is not okay. There were too many high school kids walking up to my middle school dating 7th and 8th graders. Definitely got to be careful about that. We got to talk about statutory rape. That age gap matters. That's why we need to be teaching our boys and our girls about sex the same. We need to be teaching our young boys that if, depending on the age of consent, if you are 18 and she is 17 or 16, you have sex with her, y'all can both still be in high school. Some people start 18 in high school. And parents can press charges. But we so busy teaching our young boys, have sex with whoever gonna have sex with you. We're not teaching them to even value their bodies or value their penises. And we're not teaching them that there are legal consequences to sex. Yes, you 17 and she's 16. But maybe her parents don't want her fucking with you and they have the legal right to press charges. So now what? This is a statutory rape charge? Because you didn't teach your son that what? Age matters. And we can also teach our sons that if she says no, even during sex, you should stop. Every no should be taken seriously. And teach our daughters it's okay to say no. I don't give a fuck how many times that nigga asks you. I don't give a damn if you went over there to have sex. If you say no, no means no, baby. And at any point, you should be able to get up and leave. And at any point you can't, understand that it's rape. And we gonna press that shit to the fullest extent. We need to teach our children, boys and girls, equally about the ends of sex. There are legal consequences. There are physical consequences. There are emotional consequences. Yes, it feels good. You should not be ashamed of that, but you should also be very aware that there are consequences that comes with sex. And not just that you the man or you a hoe. That's not it. It's way beyond that, baby. I snap on anyone who refers to my son as sexy because please don't use that verbiage with my children. Anybody that calls a kid sexy to me, I look at you sideways. I think something's wrong. And I really don't want you around my kid. There's nothing sexy about my son. Absolutely nothing. That to me is given pedophile. It's given real pedophile-ish. Parents need to actually give the sex talk too many of my friends just learned on the streets. Exactly. They absolutely did. And they didn't know shit. Diddly squat. You see motherfuckers right now on social media talking shit about sex and you're like, what? You grown as fuck. You didn't figure that out? Too ashamed to look because they feel like they should know. But nobody taught them. It's not acceptable. We need to talk about sex. Great topic. Great show as always. Thank you guys so much. My side hurting because I've been sitting up so much. I done got pissed and shit. Shoulders all up and shit. Side hurting. God. Y'all know how I be on here. But before I go, make sure you guys hit that arrow in the right corner and share this conversation with 3 friends that you think would love the conversation. And can I get 2, I got to go out the same way I came in. I got to give something I'm grateful for. But can I get 2 people to drop in my comment section something that you are grateful for? Hey, Kyra, if you can, give me 1 second. Can you go and screenshot some of the comments on my live? Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Can I get like 2 people to drop in my comment section something that they're grateful for? It said we need to talk about how it is not right to have sex with your child.
What?
Hold on. We need to talk about how it is not right to have sex with your child. I think some parents need to believe their kids when it happens. Okay, so I want to make sure I'm understanding your comment right. Are you saying parents having sex with their children? Or do we need to talk about parents believing their children when they say they've been touched? I'm going to wait for you to clarify that before I wrap this episode up, because I can definitely, if that is a conversation that you guys want to have, let me know and we can definitely have that conversation. Drop that, Miss Shay 29. Can you drop that in the comment section for me? Are you saying that it is not okay for parents to have sexual relations with their children? Or are you saying that we need to talk about parents believing their children? It said, grateful for your platform. Honestly, I enjoy these talks. I'm also grateful for my kids being in school this year. Needed this break. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. You guys really don't understand. This is really just, it's really like, this is a dream. Like, this is a dream to be sitting on here having these conversations. And I'm so grateful that you guys enjoy the conversations. I'm so grateful that you guys are here. I really do want to talk with you guys about these things, and I think it's important that we have dialogue, because there's really no other way that we can get out what we're thinking and to get advice, and it really just spread the word. So thank you so much. And girl, I'll be so glad my kid go to school. We ain't got there yet, we almost there, but I'll be glad when I get there. Okay, so you are saying that parents should not be having sex with children. That is absolutely not okay. We can definitely talk about that. And parents do need to believe their children when they bring that to them, that situation to them. I'm going to write those down, Miss Shay 29, and we can definitely have those conversations. I actually feel two ways about parents believing children. Not saying they shouldn't believe them or anything like that. I just think that there's a dialogue that you need to have with your children about their body to make sure that the conversation is being received properly. But I am going to write those topics down. That is definitely a conversation that we can have, and be looking for that in the near future. I am grateful that I taught my kids about sex early. That is a great conversation. You can never have that conversation too early, except for like 6 or 7. But like 9, 10, I heard kids be really having talks and knowing things. So yeah, you should definitely have that conversation. I'm grateful you did too. We got to stop thinking that, when we don't teach our kids and we hide things from them, they're ignorant and they're scary. I feel the same way about sex that I feel the way about guns. Hiding guns for children do not make them less curious children. That's why we have a lot of gun accidents for children. If we could teach children and educate them more about guns, they're less likely to be as curious and to harm each other when they see it. Got the same thing about sex. If you keep hiding it from them, they're more likely to do it and not know anything and hurt themselves. We got to start educating our children more about guns and being open and honest. Open and honest conversations really lead to open communication amongst parents and children, and that's how you decrease the risk or just chances that children are harmed in the process of whatever. We need to talk about not using pet names for body parts. That's exactly what I want to talk about. That's why it's important to not do that, so that those conversations, when children bring situations to parents, are interpreted properly. That is very much so important factor when you teaching your children about sex. Proper body parts. My son will say his penis. I don't give a fuck how uncomfortable it makes you. He's going to say his penis. I'm teaching him that, because I need to know if somebody's touching his penis, that should not be touching his penis. Absolutely. And we need to learn. I just read something. You guys know I practice gentle parenting. You still gonna hear me cuss at my kid because I ain't perfect and it's generational, we're breaking things. But nonetheless, I've learned okay touches and bad touches. So somebody helping him pull his pants down, that may be an okay touch. Someone at school touching his penis is a bad touch. So it's important to teach them proper names of their body parts and good and bad touches. He might be like, Grandma touched me, and she was helping him pull his pants down or something, Or Grandpa touched me and he's taking him to the bathroom, Good touches, bad touches. Proper names of body parts. Super important. You say you are a blessing. Thank you so much. I don't be feeling like a blessing sometimes, but I'm going to take that compliment, okay? So thank you so much. I do appreciate that. I thank you guys for dropping your grateful comments in there. I think it's super important to recognize what you have, because so many times we're focused on what we don't and get into the next thing. Thank you guys for this important, this passionate conversation. I hope you guys share this. You can always click that arrow, send it to 3 friends you think would like this conversation, or you can always share this conversation after it's posted to our IGTV. And I gotta go out the same way I came in. I am super grateful for today. I'm super grateful. I'm super grateful to have this platform and to be able to engage with you guys like this. I hope that this inspires somebody, motivates somebody to not only start their own thing, but to speak up about your own trauma. Your story is your testimony. And also understand that there is a such thing as oversharing. You can be transparent, you can be vulnerable without telling all your business, right? I think that's all I got for today. So that's what I'm grateful for. As always, you guys, thank you so much, my beautiful audience. I love you guys. And I hate to call you guys my audience, my beautiful family. I really appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I thank you so much for everything that you guys do for the show. Sharing, commenting for happy birthdays, wishing well wishes when we get sick. I super duper appreciate you. I love you. I definitely need you guys to continue this show. I could not do it without you. I'd be talking to myself. Yeah, so that'd be really weird. And I think that's it. And I also want to let you guys know before I go, next week I will not have a show. I'm taking a week off to really focus on where I want the show to go for the remainder of the year and going into next year. Next February will be 2 years, okay? 2 years I've been doing Let's Talk. It doesn't even seem like your time has flown by. But so there will be no show next week. I'll still be uploading. You guys will still see things, but no show next week. And that's really it. Make sure you share this with a friend that could love this conversation, that needs this conversation. And I think that's about it. I want to thank you guys for joining me this Tuesday. You guys are amazing. I will see you guys in 2 weeks back for a new episode. As always, you guys, my name is Cherrell Carter. I'm the host of Let's Talk the Show, and this ain't a podcast. I'll holler at y'all in 2 weeks.